Welcome to session 8 in our series on matters self-awareness, which is part of the emotional intelligence conversation. I am Charity Kirigo Kagwaine, and it's always a great joy to come to us on these platforms. And the reason that I return after every other session is because I believe in adding value to people. Because as I add value to you, you become a better person. And as you become a better person, I become a better person. And together, we are able to make the change in this world that is needed for ourselves and for future generations, so that everyone can get to enjoy their life on this earth. In session 7, I did a quick introduction on temperaments, character, and personality. If you have not had a chance to watch that video, just go to this channel and you will see session 7, and there you will get to listen to the introduction. Now, in this session 8, I will look at the first temperament, the melancholic. I like to call it the male. And before I get into the details of what the male temperament is made of, I want to make 2 very important observations. One, it is okay to be you. As we discuss this temperament, it is okay to be you. Because when your creator, God, created you, he looked at you and he saw you were good. So it's okay to be you. You don't have to try and attempt to change yourself to be somebody else. The second observation that I want to make is that each one of us has a combination of at least 2 temperaments, for some even 3. Predominantly, you will have, one temperament that is, coming out, that brings you out more. But we often have a combination of traits from at least 2 temperaments. So with those 2 observations, let's dive into the male temperament. Now, this person is a thinker. This person is an organizer. This person is analytical. They want to check everything by the toothpick. And because of this, they have a tendency to be the perfectionist. They want everything done right because there is a right way of doing things according to them. They will make the bed and will want to use a ruler just to make sure that the corner is folded right. They will wash the plate and rinse it 5 times just to make sure that it is squeaky clean. They will do a task and they will go through that task 1,000,000 times just to make sure that it is done right. They are the perfectionist. Now, because they want to do things right, they want things done in a right way, they often get very frustrated when things are not going right. When people don't seem to be getting it right, when they're trying to do something and it's not going on the straight line that they have anticipated, they get very, very frustrated. And because of that, they also need to be reassured a lot. They need affirmation and reassurance. So if you're working with somebody who is a male, you really have to affirm them. You really have to reassure them and just help them see that it's okay, that things will go right, even when things don't seem to be going right. Now, because they are introverted and they tend to be, in their own space, they also have a very, very high IQ, and they are very creative, they are very imaginative, and they are highly gifted. If we were to do a quick check, some of the best, composers, some of the best artists, some of the best educators, Some of the best inventors are males. They are able to look into things with such detail and with such creativity. The male settles for nothing but high quality, perfect work. So if you're looking for somebody who will give you quality work, the male is the right person. They don't like sudden changes when things just happen, suddenly. They don't like that because they are not able to handle sudden changes. And because for them, sudden changes disrupt, their order. Sudden changes disrupt their way of doing things. So they are not comfortable with sudden changes. They are very self-sacrificing, very, very self-sacrificing. They will go out of their way just to make sure that, somebody is comfortable or somebody is okay. Even so, they are very, very sensitive emotionally. So when you're dealing with a male, you have to be careful not to handle them in a very insensitive way because they are usually very, very sensitive. They're a faithful friend. They will not go out and look for the friend. They will not even reach out to make that friend. But if you come into their space and they are comfortable with you, they are that faithful friend and will go with you all the way. They're the most reserved of the temperament, and that is perhaps why they are called the dark temperament or the black. Some people will refer to them as the dark or black temperament because they can be very, very reserved. And rarely will they speak in a team or in a group. You have to call them out. And if you never call them out, they will never speak. They will keep their thoughts to themselves and will keep their good ideas to themselves. But I also see them as the richest temperament because they bring balance to the team. When the sanguine is getting out of hand, when the choleric is driving people up the wall, when the phlegmatic is indifferent and doesn't care, the male is a person who brings balance to the team and order to the team. But you have to give them that chance to be able to bring out what they need to bring out. So in a nutshell, the male is a person who is detailed, is a person who is very consistent, a person who is very reserved, a person who is very accurate, a person who is very controlled. Things have to go in, a particular way. A person who is predictable because they don't like changes, and abrupt changes. A person who is orderly. A person who is discerning because they are able to look inward. They look inward. So they are very, very discerning. They are precise. They are scheduled. They are very, very deliberate. And like we said, they are the perfectionist. If we were to look at an example just to help us understand, Moses is a good example of a male temperament. I like to use the scriptures always because I believe in the scriptures. And so if you look at Exodus and the man Moses, particularly if you look at chapter 3 and chapter 4 of Exodus, you will see the man Moses, a person who is not sure that he can actually do the job. But with a lot of, assurance and reassurance and affirmation, he then goes on and says, okay, I can get the job done. And we can all attest that he did a good job. The only other challenge with males is that they are also pessimists and they are not usually very flexible people. They are sort of like an elephant to move. When they are on something, you can barely move them because they are not usually very optimistic. They are sort of pessimistic, but nevertheless, with a lot of encouragement, they can, bend their rules here and there if they are convinced. So I want to believe that if you are, you have those traits, you know that you are a male.